and yet bad things didn't happen. I ask people straight out, did your taxes decrease? They say yes. Did you get a stimulus check? They say yes. Are you happy Trump is bringing home our troops? They say yes. The ninth type of gaslighting is creating a false narrative by taking you off on a tangent. Like the one about how police kill blacks. I was talking to a Democrat yesterday, and I say, less blacks were killed than whites this year by the hand of police. She says, yes, but there are less blacks in the USA. So it turns out, she tells me, that a greater percent per population of blacks die at the hands of police. Follow this. Do you know how little sense that makes here? Through distraction, a wrong impression, going on a tangent, she can really throw someone off. The content up for discussion is not about the ratio per population in the United States of America. The content is at the hands of police. So the ratio is about people at the hands of police. So even though more black people are at the hands of police, less blacks than whites were killed, period. Here, too, the left are all about creating a certain picture, a certain image, an emotional image, getting everyone involved in a movement to hate police when no one even knows what they're involved in any longer. And we have to thank Candace Owens for speaking out on this one. The gaslighting, the manipulation, the controlling the mind, it's still so real. And then they will all turn around, and when the so-called movement kills innocent people as part of riots, they are all in the holy name of justice and protection for equality. Really? Really? And then they get more despicable because they see people are eating out of their hands. So in 2016, I told people read the whole paper, not just the heading. Now, I just tell people look at Trump's tweets for the truth. The media is so full of crap. So the 10th way to gaslight is just telling people complete lies with no basis. They're desperate. They'll create an ad, base it on a story in the Atlantic that's fabricated, debunked by eyewitnesses, and pathetic. Trump's actions for the past 4 years, and way before he was scrutinized, all show how much he loves the American people, especially the veterans. This lie actually disgusted me. They take things we care so much about and twist it. It is so low, but it is a tactic, and that's what we have to remember. Knowledge is power. Understanding all this helps us help the abuse victims that are our neighbors and our friends on social media and in person. Another complete lie is that the vaccine is not safe. This is gaslighting, convincing you of non-truths. Trump is doing what we do for every single vaccine you've ever taken. He's just cutting out the red tape to make the process faster. If the polio shot came out during Trump's time after 10 years of testing, they would have said not to take it. It doesn't work for their agenda that Trump already has a shot. And the left, they don't have a shot in more ways than one. Biden also uses total lies to make himself look good. He has no shame. Once you're under their grip of hating Trump because you are so confused and literally don't look to see how every single day Trump wakes up with kindness and actions and effectiveness that improve all of our lives, they know you are a victim to the left, and they know they can feed you anything and you will be hungry to eat it. Biden is so low to the point of lying to Democratic workers about how little money he makes, even though he got $15.6 million in the 2 years after he left office. And then 11th type of gaslighting, they're not sure if they went too far. So like most abusers, they quickly throw you a bone. This part of gaslighting is when abusers come back and say a few nice words, like all of a sudden, 93 days after Trump says, no rioting every single day, Biden gets up and uses this on his platform. He's treating Americans like victims. Here, baby, I know I'm abusing you, but come with me. No more riots. Yes, let's start school. I will give you what you want. Come. He's a copycat to Trump, and he gives you a bone. Really? Don't fall for this, America. You know we can look back at what Trump did for us the past 4 years and see he has been proving to keep his promises. They realize no one wants rioting, and they fear they are starting to lose the people, so they quickly change directions, even if it just means copycatting what Trump said. Do they not realize that we can look back at Trump's tweets from 3 months ago? This is all a tactic to make nicey nice. It may work a bit, but my job and your job is to make sure it doesn't. Although Biden throws a bone, he sometimes gets sidetracked and forgets to read off the teleprompter. And that's when he says things about COVID being for 100 years and stuff like that. So look closely and don't get fooled. The 12th type of gaslighting is when they create things to talk about. Just for the sake of politics, they create ideas around the pandemic, they instigate riots, they cause destruction to sacred property. This is all part of their gaslighting tactics. 13, they turn good to bad. Trump takes care of us Americans. He puts us first. Just like on an airplane, they tell you to put on your oxygen mask first. So too, Trump takes care of America first. He understands that in order to take care of the rest of the world, we have to be strong and secure. So Trump has this amazing way with other leaders, showing we are powerful. They cannot start up with us. He brings our troops home from foreign wars. And what's their response? What's the left's response? They say, Biden is the nice one. What's nice about him? Is the mom who lets her kid eat ice cream the whole day nicer than the one that makes her kid eat healthy? Trump creates a healthy, strong America where other countries have peacefully realized their role. And Trump's kindness to individuals, groups, and communities goes unnoticed in the media. The 14th gaslighting tactic that the left uses is instilling in us fear. A huge tactic of gaslighting and abuse that they use is to instill this fear in the American people. Which party do you want to be part of? Do you want to wear a Biden pin and put a Biden sign and be left alone? Or do you want to wear a Make America Great Again hat and have to worry for your life at a restaurant? It's pure evil. It's gaslighting at its best. Think about it. The left saying they accept all, but we can't live without fear? How many people are scared to show their Trump flags in Democratic states? Not one Biden voter is afraid to publicly announce who they are voting for. This is all not okay. It is fear by the left. The 15th gaslighting tactic is to instill a sense of hopelessness. Biden talks about how hopeless America is and how dark America is and how you need to rely on him and your life is dark without him. This is the exact tactic abusers use. Trump knows America's greatness, and he accomplishes more and more in that greatness every single day. The 16th gaslighting tactic they use is they take the exact thing Trump supports and put blame on him, just switching it around. Biden blames Trump for riots in the Democratic cities, yet he raised money and Harris says they should continue. Trump is the one who condemns riots. This is a purely evil gaslighting tactic. 17, they talk about theoreticals. They know you will never know what would have, could have, should have happened if President Trump was not the president during COVID, because it's a theoretical. This is all part of their gaslighting tactic. But the truth is, Biden, we just look at your track record and get an idea of how you would have handled such a crisis. And we know it would have been much worse under you. You would have not made a travel ban, not had money for citizens, and shut down the country for 4 years. The next type of gaslighting, the 18th type, is leaving out important facts. So not reporting what Trump accomplishes, not reporting when people get murdered during riots. All of these things let the brain and mind of those that watch the media get more and more abused. And last, number 19, they switch credit and blame. When the left screws up, they blame Trump. When Trump does well, the left take credit. So Trump has a long list of accomplishments. NATO partners agreed to pay $130 million more per year. He withdrew from the Trans-Pacific Partnership, secured American energy independence, record-setting tax and regulation cuts, strongest economy in the history of the world, replaced NAFTA, 300 miles of border wall, lower costs on prescription drugs, best unemployment numbers for African Americans, Hispanic Americans, and Asian Americans, withdrew Iran nuclear deal, our embassy is in Jerusalem, achieved the first Middle East peace deal, eliminated the world's #1 terrorist, troops are coming home, world's largest supply of ventilators, largest and most advanced testing program in the world, paycheck protection program, and the list goes on and on and on and on. Biden wants a $4 million tax hike on most of America's families. He says he's taxing the rich, but that's not true. He's gaslighting you. He wants to defund the police and take away our jobs. Now, let's list Biden's accomplishments from his time in office. Okay, let's list them. Anyone have anything to say? No one's raising their hand, so I'll move on. Biden destroys, yet with a smile on his face. That's what abusers do. So let's wrap this up and talk about abuse victims for a minute. The point of abuse is to confuse the mind. That is the result of the gaslighting. So when you say simple, clear facts to Democrats, and they answer with senseless things, it's because they are victims of abuse. We call this the confused abused. And we know that victims tend to go right back to their abusers. This is why we have to explain that Washington politicians want power. We have to sort out this distortion for the American people. We have to point out the gaslighting. When the victims of abuse run back to their abusers, we need to tell them, don't worry. In Trump's America, there is great life, liberty, and justice for all. The left may be loud. Riots, gaslighting, media, it's all loud. But don't forget, we are more. We are millions across the country. Let's get loud. More flags, more hats, more talk, more posts, and most of all, more votes, making noise. When the world is filled with fake news and gaslighting tactics, thank you, President Trump, for saving our country every day, relentlessly fighting for us, for America. We will all vote for 4 more years, and may God bless America.